Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Mfundo. As Sheldon introduced today, that I'm a part of DRTY DSHS, and we just a YouTube channel that is mainly focused on entertainment. And so we do skits, we do music videos, we do what I call informative type of channel. There's something that Sheldon and I did that we described what type of YouTube channels that you can have on YouTube. So we were basically all round players, and we're pretty good at what we do. I must say one of the guys is called Lux. He's the engine of our team, and he's pretty good at that editing. But yeah, today we'll be talking about team in production, or production in teams rather. I said team. Okay, yeah, production in teams. We'll be having a look at what type of roles. Once you become a household name, once you become bigger than just because YouTube, once you grow, you could hit 70K, you hit 100K, and then you need a team. I'll give you an example. There's two names. Tato Ramberi, he's literally on the face of most brands right now. So Lenovo, he's there with what's this thing, Canon as well. So he's quite big. Just yesterday he was in 94.7 FM. So the man is quite big, and he just recently produced a show called Looking for Mjolo, where he even called us DRTY DSHS to come and be a part of that production. He's just one man. His entire channel is just focused on himself, but he needs a team in production. He needs a team to produce the content that he's currently producing, and he's hitting numbers in the 200Ks per video in terms of views. So without any further ado, I'd like to just get into the content. Sheldon, if you could help me find a way to share my screen, that would be nice.
Cool. Hello. Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that introduction. That's cool. I will show you how to share your screen. But we can also just have introductions from the rest of the class so long, since we are still almost now at 1905. So yeah, Anshka, how are you doing? And can you tell us a bit about yourself and your content? Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Anshka, and I'm known as Chats with Lady A on social media, and by known by like my 10 followers. I do TikToks. I've been doing TikTok for a while, and recently started with my YouTube channel and my Instagram page, focusing more on mental health, and looking after yourself, self-love. Yeah, that's me in short. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm trying to communicate with Mfundo just where the present now button is for him and his screen. It's on your WhatsApp if you take a look, but it should be underneath all of the tiles that are laid out on your screen. It's like a box with an arrow pointing up. Yeah. But we can carry on with introductions for now. Thank you very much, Anshka. Would you mind introducing yourself, Boss Divan?
Oh, okay. I'm a YouTuber. My name is Divan, but I mostly most people know me as Boss Divan for my YouTube channel and my TikTok account. And my channel is just more about lifestyle, and that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Boss Divan. And may I ask, hey Roxy, if you can give us a quick introduction of yourself and your content.
Hi, I'm Roxy. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
So I have a YouTube channel where I post Sims related content, whether it's builds or let's plays, and yeah, that's pretty much what I do on YouTube.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Bush Baby Amy, may we please get an introduction from you?
Sorry, I was just trying to find where the unmute button is. But hi, everyone. I'm Amy. On the social media, I go by Bush Baby Amy. I do healthy hair content that primarily focuses on tips on how to take care of your hair, as well as some product reviews, etc., etc. I don't know what else was I meant to say. I'm sorry I was late because I was uploading a TikTok. So I'm not sure if I've covered everything that you've asked.
That's cool. That's very relevant. Thank you. And for the most part, I mean, I must remind you, Mfundo, that we have had a few classes together with this group specifically. So some of us do know about each other. So this is more for you to get to know the class as well.
Hey, Amy, I hope Amy remembers me, if she does.
I'm on mute again. Hi, I do.
Okay, great.
Awesome. Yeah, we've got our Pretorian YouTubers uniting here, and they also have been in the community for like the longest time, I must be honest with you. So that's really cool. Thank you very much for that introduction. And Brendan Jackson, a YouTuber from Johannesburg, actually, who joined our most recent Pretoria event. If we may get an intro from you, and then we'll commence with tonight's lesson.
Cool. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Great. Hey everyone, my name's Brendan, and I'm a cosplayer and game designer, and I'm mostly active on YouTube and Instagram and Twitch, and pretty much everything cosplay and geek culture and gaming. So yeah, that's me.
Sweet, man. Your room looks pretty cool too.
Thank you. Thanks.
It's a cool set, man. And is that a guitar that I see in the background there? Oh, what's that at the bottom left? Nice.
That is a guitar you see there.
Awesome.
Not that I've played in a long time, but
I know we must talk. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much for your introductions. I'm going to pass over to it's not Samantha Makosa, guys. I'm just letting you know it's Mfundo from the Dirty Dishes. And yeah, he's going to be presenting the content for today. Team Productions. Cool. I'm passing over to you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks, Sheldon. Just guys, I'm going to try and share my screen with you guys. You guys will tell me if you can see it or not.
Yep.
Can you see it?
13 degrees in the city of Tswane.
All right. Okay, guys. So we're basically here for the team productions presented by myself and the rest of my team. So there's different types of roles, of course, in a YouTube channel. Once you guys become a team, or once you become big enough to afford a team, and that's where ruminated roles come in. Let me just quickly go there. Ruminated roles are the type of roles that are so demanding that some people should be paid for them. So things like editing. Some people are really good at coming up with content creating ideas, administration, marketing. These all, once you're not capable of them, the best way to get people to help you out without them volunteering for the role is just by, paying them for it. And, we are content creators. We want this industry to become bigger, become better, and to be respected. And that's one way to definitely get people to respect you. A lot of people out there can definitely advance your team if you could just offer them some remuneration, I guess. This is things like video editors, crew, camera crew, set designers, brand managers. They are so demanding sometimes that doing it for free almost feels unfair. So remuneration is one way to get somebody feeling better about the time and energy they're spending into your channel, especially if you didn't start the channel as a team. The next one is rotational roles. So rotational roles are really easy. If you're in a group, or you get you do find people who are willing to help you. These are some things that you could just change on a weekly basis. The example on your screen right now would be, for example, every week one person gets a chance to edit the video for that specific week, and then the other people get to play other roles. We just kind of going through the types of ways you can delegate. You can delegate the roles that you have in teams when you are in production. The skill-based type of roles. So these are specifically really depend on how good a person is. So if I was to say in our team, Locks, we never touch editing. One of the guys' name is called Locks, and he always edits for us because he is so good at it that if we edit outside of his editing, then the standard has gone down. So in order to keep that consistent, consistent fashion of editing, he's the only person that edits. in our team. And then we've got volunteer roles. So these can really range from somebody just dropping in an idea in your production, somebody just criticizing you, for example, on whatever platform you're on. We say this is a role because you can't avoid criticism in the industry that we're in, and neither can you avoid advice. These are the type of things that if you undermine, you may be missing out on some pretty good ideas. So let's just talk about how to delegate these roles. It can become a little bit complicated, as some people may feel like they're capable of something else. Sometimes you don't really want to restrict yourself in this industry in terms of what you're capable of. So you don't really want to play one role. The best way to go about it is try and learn as much as you can and be as flexible as you can, because one day your editor won't be there. And if you can't edit, then you're not uploading. And if you don't have ideas and you feel like your content creator, the person that comes up with the ideas, is feeling sick today and is not in the mood to create ideas for you, you're in trouble. So these are the type of things that you really want to get into doing. And sometimes they're not even about you not being able to do them. It's mostly about sometimes you could be going through some fatigue. I know Tato Rampedi really closely, and he went through a fatigue phase. And then he just hired somebody to create some content for him, and that went pretty well for him, and that he succeeded in it. So now let's just go into the type of roles that you have in a channel in terms of managing it, and these are applicable in terms of TikTok. So any social media platform that you're going into, especially if it's got video creation in it. So we've got people who come up with ideas. That's the content creators. We've got video personalities. That's most likely, if you're a one-person channel right now, that's most likely you. So you will be the host, the face, and the representation of your channel. Then you've got editors, and you've got administration. Administration is so important because those stats, especially communicating with those brands, as well as emailing for those collabs, and keep it down minutes for those ideas that you have and you're not going to execute right now. When that day comes up, when you don't have a lot of ideas, those minutes come in really handy. Then we go into marketing. That one is like so important because your channel stays relevant with your marketing. If your marketing dies down, then your channel doesn't keep up its relevance as much as you would like it to. And a lot of people tend to forget. There's so many content creators out there that it's easy to forget you. As well known as you are, and as much as a lot of people will miss your content, it's easy to forget you and get hooked onto someone else. So how you market your channel and just your marketing strategy comes in quite handy and is really important in that department. Then we've got legal aspects. As all of us should know right now that YouTube is taxing and content creators in South Africa, SARS is finding a way to tax content creators, as well as how to protect your ideas, especially once you're presenting to brands. A lot of brands can turn you down. I'll give you an example. Somizi was pitched an idea about the show that he does. So it was a cooking show while he also conducts interviews while he cooks. The boy that gave him that idea, he ignored him for about 1.5 years. And then after 1.5 years, he began working on this idea. And because it wasn't protected, all Somizi did was went on Twitter and he apologized to the boy, and then he kept on producing the show nonetheless. That boy did not get a dime for what his idea was. Sorry about that. Let's just go back there. So the legal aspect of things is really, so keeping up with that is really important. It will protect you and save you a lot, especially once SARS comes through and knocking on your door. It's really easy to forget that tax. As well as keeping those receipts. Keep those receipts because at least you get to claim back your money, especially now that it's respected by SARS. Okay, so content creation. These are the creative minds. These are the people that really stand out in terms of having those ideas. They keep up with what the world is going up, depending on what type of channel you are. So if you're an information-based channel, you're in there with the ins and outs of what is happening in South Africa, politically, sports-wise, and all those type of things. Usually the entire team should participate in this, because if you undermine how a terrible idea can become a really, really great creative final product, then you're in trouble. Because that terrible idea, you just add onto it, you build onto it, you tweak something, you switch something up, and then you find a really, really amazing video, especially on YouTube. I remember the amount of nights that we spent on just like coming up with terrible ideas, and then woke up the next day and we had like a real good video for that. Your video personalities are people video personalities are people who are really comfortable in front of camera. They are the people, which should be you in this case. This is you. You represent yourself, you represent your team. So you are your own image, and how you speak and how you communicate with your viewers is very important, because you end up connecting with them. I'll always use Neo Rapetswa, that is. She found a way to communicate with her viewers by entertaining them through Amapiano videos, and ever since then, I think right now she just hit 100K on YouTube, so that's good for her. Editing, this is one of those skill-based ones. This is the one that you do not compromise, because anybody that interacts with your product, whether being a TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram, engages with this editing. It's really the core of your team, because it really communicates your brand personality to your viewers, and a lot of the people, and how people perceive your channel. I remember one time when we did a music video, we took an artist and we just changed up. What did we do again? We took artists and then we impersonated them. Yes, that's the right term for it. We impersonated them, and we impersonated somebody who's been accused of rape. And some of our viewers went onto our Twitter page and DM'd us, talking about how uncomfortable they were with us impersonating somebody who has been a perpetrator of gender-based violence. So this is something that once the person who edits is done editing, that should be reviewed by the entire team, because accountability won't just be given to that person, but it'll be taken by all of you guys. So just be careful of that one. Administration, I've already just quickly touched on how important administration can be. This is just going a little bit deeper. So this role handles the stats. YouTube provides a lot of stats in terms of how you're performing. In fact, I think almost all the platforms do. So sometimes you feel down, especially when you're doing something over and over again and you feel stuck on 1.2K views, or you feel stuck on 1.2K subscribers. Your stats will tell you how much people are engaging in your content, how long people are watching your content, how much clickbait you're getting on your channel. These things tend to make you feel a little bit more relevant and a little bit more better. It makes it worth the while if 87% of your viewers are finishing your videos. You really do feel like, you know what, something is working, and as over time, people will finally interact with my content. The emails, we all know the emails. I think Bush Baby Amy should be the one presenting on how emails can play an important role, especially when it comes to brand communication. She's once sat down with us and actually explained that role really well for us as well. Compiling minutes. I did talk about those ideas that you won't necessarily execute now, but you will execute later, especially once you're capable, especially once funds are stable and all those type of things. Safekeeping of your content and other tasks. It's up to the group how they want to split these tasks. Again, everybody can play these roles. Almost anybody except for the editing one can play this role on your team. Everybody should be involved in these things, especially when it comes to the final product of the editing in itself. Marketing, a really fun way to get your channel out there. So this one doesn't stop, guys. You are your channel. So how you walk, how you talk, how you live your life out there, everybody will hold you accountable for it. Somebody will stop their car and say, hey, your dirty dishes. And you're like, yeah, in your really crusty onesie and broken shoes and, with that hole in the socks as well, those type of situations. So when you're out there, you are continuously marketing yourself, and then more specifically and more importantly on how you market yourself on social media. That is, I did touch on that earlier on, that continuous marketing is very important, especially when it comes to staying relevant. And then finally, we've got the legal aspects of your brand. I did talk about tax. I did mention how, especially when it comes to some of the things you say, I did mention how once upon a time we impersonated a GBV accused artist. People in South Africa don't forget what you did. They don't forget what you stood for. If I was to make it a little bit more relevant, there was a really beautiful woman who ran for Miss South Africa. I think she was from Cape Town. I think this happened last year. She was from Cape Town. And when South Africa, South Africa on Twitter does its thing, man. They started digging, and they found her to have had a lot of racist comments on her Twitter and all those things. She was kicked out of Miss SA. So just be careful on how you tackle things. That legal person that plays that role can tell you what you can and cannot say, and what you should be careful of, and what you'll be held accountable to, especially legally, and how you can protect yourself from all those type of things, protecting your ideas. Usually this person has to do a lot of research, especially if they're not in law by study. So you have to do a lot of research and keep up with a lot of how content creation is being accounted for by the government. And yeah, man, this is really not, this is just the 101 of a production team. We're not even talking challenges right now. We're not talking what type of problems could occur. But yeah, these are just the roles and what it takes just to have a team in place, and how to delegate those roles, what type of roles those are, and how to go about keeping up with your team. Yeah, that is me. Let me just stop sharing.
Thank you so much, Mfundo. That was really helpful. You covered so many valuable things. And before we carry on to the next section, where I'm going to just show the class how we're going to do a quiz, a multiple choice quiz for this week, I want to ask you guys if you have any questions for Mfundo from the context, from the things he spoke about, all the way from the hole in the sock when someone holds you accountable for, hey, I know you and what channel you're from, all the way to the finance and legal things with SARS, and also just having somebody who's got their ear to the ground when it comes to being a content creator in South Africa, and just being held accountable again for what you say, and that people in the future might look into that, and you must take responsibility for what you say, essentially. So yeah, are there any questions from the class for Mfundo at the moment?
Hi.
Hey,
I have a question. So thank you so much for the presentation. I think there was a lot of insight there that I really appreciated. I just have a question related to the marketing aspect, right? Especially I think most of us are individuals who are creating content on our own personal channels. So how would you kind of recommend one handles or tackles the marketing, especially if your social media presence is not 10K vibes? So how would what tips do you have with regards to marketing?
First step, we got into Push Baby Amy, was we really went about how to, for instance, if with your hair channel, there's a lot of things that you can create around your hair. So talk about something different, but it involves your crown. It definitely has the picture of your crown and how your crown looks and all those type of things going on. So by continuously engaging and having your hair in there, it's one way to go about it. I've seen a lot of people just take pictures of plants, but there's a product right next to it that you you use. You tag that branding, those type of things going on. Having fun conversations is I remember once in December. Just this past December, I picked up the phone and asked people a couple of relationship questions. We went from being viewed by 125 people to 373 people. So having those fun conversations on your platforms and not always just focusing on, you know, your branding, which is in your case your hair and all those type of things. Just feeling relevant, feeling attainable to people as well. They think about you when they say, oh yeah. I remember one time we just spoke about on our social media channel how men can play FIFA just standing like this, and once they go forward like this, they really into it. Some of my subscribers have been DMing me months later saying their boyfriends did it in front of them. What does that mean? Those type of things. So that keeps you just like relevant, stay relevant, keep communication, fun conversations. Those are the type of things you could try.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your answer over there. I'm going to jump on into demonstrating how this week's quiz is going to look, but Mfundo is going to be with us till the end of this call. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat, and we'll give him a slot again at the end to answer those questions. Cool. So for now, I'm going to present my screen just to show you how we're going to be doing our assessment this week. Cool, because it's kind of automated. Push the button to make my top part is let me see. Okay, wait for it. Okay, yeah. We've got the classwork. Oh, did someone just try and join? I think I saw a question over there. There is a question. Cool. We're gonna get back to that. But yes, if you are in the class on Google Academy, then you will see there's stream and classwork. With obviously this being section 5, team productions. This is the content that Mfundo just went through. You can see the documentation as well as the video of this content specifically, and then we've got the multiple choice assignment. So all you do is you click on the form and it'll take you to a quiz that you do online. And yeah, we try to make it more accommodating for students to recap the content from the week without having to do too much practical work, and we are going to lean more into this kind of assessment going forward. So what I just want to make sure that you guys understand is that there's an automated marking procedure here for some of the questions, the ones with definitive answers that we can mark, but then also note that for some of the questions, like the last 2, you can actually answer things that maybe don't get marked correctly. We've got a list of keywords, which are the answers here, but if you type in, like if you make a typo or something like that, we can revise and check this as teachers. And then the last one is more of an essay question. As you can see, it's with 9 points. And this is to identify which roles you can outsource for your content according to the people around you and the services accessible to you. Identify at least 3 roles and your reasoning why. So that just means to think outside of the box. If there were to be roles in your channel that you would outsource, you can think about this, but your marks are specifically in identifying the different roles and then why you say that like this should be the case. If you have to be hypothetical and say you would pay for this, you can still explain that as long as it's relevant to you and your channel, even if you're not necessarily going to go hire people right now, just so that we can see your understanding of the content. But that also isn't marked by the automated system. That will be available in the next week. So yeah, you guys are going to have from this Friday until next Friday to do this assignment. And yeah, I will obviously open the group. If you have any questions regarding how to complete this quiz, let me know. Yeah, there is no rubric for this because those questions in the in the form kind of show you how much each question is worth. But yes, that is it from me regarding that, the quiz for this next week. But I'm going to ask Mfundo what Anshka asked, and that was, let me stop presenting here. Would you say drawing up a contract for the team is important? That is, yeah.
Yes, Miss Vessels. My coach is also Vessels, my baseball coach. Yes, it's very important. One of the conversations we had when we were starting out, and that was 3 years ago, was how we would be fair towards each other, especially once we started making money. So we agreed that we would draw up contracts. At that stage, it was even in the form of just writing on a paper that this is an agreement between the four of us. We are starting a YouTube channel, and the shares will be split like this and like this, and that actually holds up in court once we did our research. So that is very much so. It is a good idea.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, like Anshka says, I mean, she can say thank you also. Now that is actually a great avenue to open up for what we're going to be talking about next week. So you yourself you started a channel with 4 people, and obviously you've clarified having a contract is important. At this point, I believe maybe there's just 3 of you, if I'm not mistaken. I know there's things like the Juice, who also have, like, they've changed up people who are actively a part of it. But guess what we're talking about next week? It's conflict resolution. So when you're working with teams in the short interim thing in time, maybe there's just habits that annoy you, all the way through to working with people in the long term. Guys, conflict is going to come up, and you need to know how to handle it and solve it. And sometimes that isn't something people are already equipped for. But when it comes to working as a team, there are things you need to resolve amongst yourself. So we thought, who better to teach you this than the dirty dishes? So that's what we're going to be talking about in next week's lesson. But for now, I see that we have answered the questions, and we have gone through all the content for this week. Again, this lesson is recorded, and it's going to be edited and made accessible to the classroom. Next week again, it'll be Locks from the Dirty Dishes presenting on conflict resolution, and we're going to take it from there. We are getting to the end of our YouTube Academy, and we're going to do a final examination assessment at the end of this, just to see your progress and how you've learned from what we've done. And then you guys will technically qualify and graduate as the first class of Created a YouTube Academy. So that's quite exciting. But yeah, may I ask, are there any comments or any more questions before we wrap up tonight's session?
Yes, just from me real quick. Please do tell me, guys, like, what type of information that you would have preferred getting, because there's always ways that one can improve how they teach and how they conduct their presentations. Look forward to getting your feedback. Thank you very much. You all made me very nervous, but
you did really well, bro. You did very well. Thank you very much. Mfundo Road was good. And I think you did well. I know it's not the same as being in person. You can't see what people are saying, what people are doing. Why aren't they laughing at my jokes? It's just I think it's maybe this online platform. But still, I think if we had to turn this into podcast content, we could really take a lot of good stuff from your dialogue. Good content, and you made a lot of sense, and you presented well. So thank you on behalf of me and the entire class. It was good to have you with us, and probably we'll see you more in the YouTube Academy for the upcoming classes and future collaborations.
Thank you very much, Sheldon.
Cool, and thank you everybody who made the time to attend tonight's class. I hope you found it useful and valuable. Thank you for making the time to be here, each and every one of you. It's the more you put into this course, the more you will get from it, and that is great. And Brendan Jackson says thank you in the comments. Cool, man. Have a good evening, and I will see you guys next week. Yes.
One question: if you want to do a collaboration with another channel, how does that work?
It really comes down to appealing to their incentives as a channel. and maybe your incentives, like your goals on your channel align, maybe your target markets align, maybe you're still starting out as a creator and you haven't defined all of those things yet, and it might be a bit easier to ask someone to collaborate. But always when considering who to collaborate with, obviously in this case you're talking about people, crew and stuff, find people with interest in the specific topic amongst you and your friends, people you know. And if you do find people who are maybe interested in having a YouTube channel or editing a video, then I would say in that case it's easier to reach out to people to collaborate on a channel. Are you talking about collaborating on a channel or with brands?
On a channel.
Okay, then the second thing that I said. Also, Mfundo, what would you say about finding people to collaborate with on a channel?
More or less of what you said. So by knowing how they produce or what content they produce, you'll be doing yourself a favor. At least you'll give yourself a chance to also come up with an idea that fits their channel's type of content creation. So it's always very important. People will only collaborate with you if you appeal to them. That is exactly what I know. And if you make good content as well.
That's it. That's the one. Thank you, Mfundo, for filling in there as well. Does that answer your question, Boss Divan?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. And yeah, Hey Roxy says, thank you. I definitely learned a lot, especially about SARS. And guys, can I be 100% honest with you? This thing about SARS and being able to earn your own money as a freelance creator or online creator these days is something that school doesn't really teach you about, but we are actually in the process of building that into our academy to educate creators to know how to manage their finances when it comes to being a freelancer or online creator. We do have consultations for all these things now already, but we want to provide course material for you guys. So that is exciting stuff. And yes, thank you for the questions. Thank you for attending the class. Yeah, man, I'll see you guys next week again. If there's nothing else, I don't see anything else now. I think it's the end. Yeah, it's the end. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Thanks so much. Cheers.